It's now been over a month since Mario Kart World has released, and I know a lot of people are going to be thinking this is a little too soon to be talking about Mario Kart World 2 or any sort of sequel. And I know a lot of people are going to say just love what you get and be quiet, but I just love talking about the future of games. About a month after a new game comes out, it makes you wonder what's next for Nintendo, and after 11 years of Mario Kart 8, there's a good chance we could have to wait another decade until we get the next Mario Kart game. I hope that's not the case. I don't think that's going to be the case, but we have to ask the question, what's the future of Mario Kart? Do we move on and continue past 8 to 9? Do we just forget Mario Kart World ever happened? Do we continue on with what Mario Kart World has built with its foundation? Well, that's what I'm here to talk about today, because I'm choosing the latter. Yes, I want to continue with what Mario Kart World has developed so far and move on to a pure sequel of what Mario Kart World 2 could actually be. So real quick, before we get started today, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. We are trying to reach a total of 400,000 subscribers by the end of this year. You guys can very well make that happen. We are super close to 370,000, so if you like this video at all, make sure you leave a like and subscribe, and let's see how many we can get from just today's video. But thank you for tuning in, and let's jump into the world of Mario Kart World 2. Mario Kart World has an absolutely amazing foundation, and to build off of it seems like a dream, because what's there is golden. It's just Nintendo doesn't use what's there all the time. So as far as World 2, I wanted to keep lots of the mechanics the same. You still have the trick system, and everything with the tricks is still intact. The trick system, nor the open world or the 24 racers, none of those are the big draw of this game. The big draw is this time the racing itself. It's the tracks, because the new gimmick is wild racing. Mario Kart World 2 is about wild, crazy tracks, where maps are extremely memorable. All the tracks can change and warp, and events can happen on all of them, keeping every single race exciting every single time. For instance, we are now introducing Track Morph, and Track Morph is very similar to Stage Morph in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, where you can choose to have two tracks playing at once that will warp you in between two in a random interval on your race. You might be racing in Mario Bros. Circuit in 1 second before you finding yourself over at Crown City. There are now crazy, wacky track effects that happen on either the intermissions or even some of the 3-lap tracks, where you can run over these things called special P-switches. They are a rainbow-colored P-switch that if anyone on the track hits in these areas of the intermission, you can have hundreds of possible random events happen, with once again over 200 intermissions, but this time over 100 P-switch effects that can happen on any of these intermissions. Hardly any two races that you have are going to feel the same. What events could you expect, you might be wondering? Well, pretty much anything. Think of these events as miniature Wonder events from Super Mario Bros. Wonder, of course, where anything could happen. A ton of random enemies or objects can spawn on the road, tons of off-road ramps and rails for you to ride, or massive vehicles returning like the semis and speedboats, and even new ones like giant tanks that you can take control of and shoot down other players. Jungle vines, bouncy clouds and mushrooms, and even DK barrels can spawn, blasting you all over these intermissions. You might know an intermission track by heart, but don't get used to it, because the random events can completely change everything you know and love about that track. A good way to look at this is the P-switch missions from the first Mario Kart World. Imagine all of those random objects and enemies and events that would take place once you hit these P-switches, but they now happen during the races as well. Outside of the P-switch missions, there'll also be tons of interactable things that you can get into and fire at other racers and pick up on the side of the road, and even special items that correlate to the region that you're in. And this time, we're not playing it safe. Every single roadway is just as dangerous as the last, and it's filled with crazy enemies and objects and unbelievable racing paths that you won't even believe that you're racing on. So what's the brand new fancy feature of Mario Kart World 2? Well, it's simple. More fun and engaging and intense wild racing. Now, as far as the game's main mechanics, you still have the same trick system. You'll be able to have the same wall rides and rail rides because they're already really great mechanics, but gliding might change a little bit, actually allowing you to fly. Think of Sonic Racing Transformed, and there'll be specific tracks where you have straight up flying section. No more gliding, actual flying. Perhaps like Double Dash, there's even character-specific items this time around, allowing you to not only choose your character for their weight, or even for their costumes, but also for how good their own specific item is. And on the topic of items, we're removing a lot from the first game and adding even new, crazier, wacky ones. Let's face it, most people don't really care about an ice flower when it's already a copy of an existing fire flower item, and probably a lot of people don't care about coin items as well, like the coin block or even the gold coin shell. And let's just remove the boomerang because it can just add to the hecticness of the game, and it's something that I feel like it's time to actually switch up. And same with the Kamek Orb, this is not going to be how we unlock characters this time around, and we want Kamek as a playable character, not as an item. But with taking away all these items, what are we adding? Well, it's hard to say. There's so many items throughout the Mario franchise, and if every single character in this game is getting their own, you may not need to add much else. But perhaps we could actually pull from some more past Mario games, like adding Flood that can actually squirt water and push people off the track, or the Rock Mushroom from Mario Galaxy 2 that turns you into a giant boulder, kind of like the Mega Mushroom where you can roll players over and control where it rolls, or maybe even Cappy where you can throw it and control another player. Maybe your cart goes into auto drive as you control another racer for a short time, maybe even driving them off the track. Maybe you can get the Bubble Flower from Mario Wonder where you can trap other racers in bubbles for a short time, or even use them yourself in order to hop or even cross gaps. And maybe even the Double Cherry from Mario 3D World, duplicating yourself, so that way you have two duplicates, one on each side of you, and they don't go away until they take damage. And you can also get more items, and they will also gain items as well. For instance, if you pick up a star after popping the Double Cherry, all three of you will have the star effect, or if you pick up a green shell, you'll have triple green shells that each of them will throw. And then you could also have the Mini Mushroom, where maybe every single track and intermission in the game actually has spots that a Mini Mushroom can take you through. Maybe little cracks or little shortcuts that you can actually drive through as a mini version, and you'll also drive faster in this version, but you'll also get crushed if you're not careful. There's even more we could think of, like the Drill Mushroom from Mario Wonder, where you can drill underground and pop up hitting other racers, or maybe even the Cloud Flower from Mario Galaxy 2, where you can lay out 3 cloud paths so that way you can cross any off-road path, any mud, or any gap area where you can actually just cut tracks in half. And why not some new characters? NPC characters are back, but so are brand new main characters as well. For instance, you can get Egad, Funky Kong is returning, King K. Rool's here, Helen Gravely from Mansion 3, WarioWare characters as well, and even the Koopalings return, and a lot more where those come from. For instance, there'll be a lot more costumes in this game. And yes, even the NPC drivers will have costumes, but it doesn't feel right just straight up calling them NPC drivers, because some of these characters are Mario staples, like Goomba, NPC driver, Piranha Plant? Nope, they're all just straight up characters this time around, with everybody having costumes, and we're done with the Dash Food. Dash Food is now straight up replaced with the brand new mystical P-switches that cause crazy things to happen in the races. They're no longer a way to get costumes, but I'll talk about the costumes and how you can unlock them later on. In Mario Kart World's map will be completely wacky and new. Gone are the jungles, grasslands, desert, beaches, and the same old locations that we're used to. This time, every biome is completely wacky and different, very similar to the wacky themed kingdoms of Super Mario Odyssey. Who knows, you may stumble across a polygonal food themed biome, or a dark, creepy, haunted themed area full of creepy creatures and even giant dragons. This world will be a combination of random areas unlike anything we've ever seen in a Mario game. There will still be retro tracks, but you'll probably won't even recognize them based on how wacky these worlds are now. But all of this is just the overview of the game. Let's dive into some of the modes and how the game's actually going to play and what makes it so different than the first game. Now, like I said, for the 3-lap tracks, there'll be multiple returning and brand new ones, but mostly new ones in this game, with probably the least amount of retro tracks ever seen in the entire series. But what about those dreaded intermissions? It's the thing that a lot of people didn't like from the first game. Lots of straightaways with not a lot going on. Not only did we add all these wacky P-switches that cause wacky crazy things to happen on these roadways, but these roadways are also designed with fun in mind. You don't even need the P-switches to have a blast on some of these. Every single one of the over 200 intermission tracks in this game all feel like a mini Mount Wario from Mario Kart 8. You'll be driving through deep forests, through construction areas, and even inside factory buildings, giant caves, nearby cities and neighborhood streets. There's so much to explore on these intermissions, it's absolutely insane. The There'll be rail systems scattered all the way throughout these, and ramps for you to jump on and ride, and tons of half-pipe walls, and everything to keep you entertained during these somewhat straight intermissions. But remember, the rainbow P-switches can cause any event to happen on these already well-crafted intermission tracks, so you'll be in for thousands of hours of fun. There is no longer a free roam. Instead, we have adventure mode. If you want to free roam in this world once you craft it, then you definitely can. But this time you have to build and craft this giant open world through the game's story mode. In fact, it's actually tied to the Grand Prix, so you actually have to play the story mode when you first boot up the game and go through the Grand Prix before you can play anything else. Because in order to build the map piece by piece, you'll be going through the cups. Each cup has 4 races once again, and you'll be driving from one to the next, and you'll be building the island this way. So every single cup, you'll get 4 brand new tracks that build up from the island. And after completing each set of 4 more will rise up from the ocean, completely filling out the entire island and the entire map this time around. After completing a cup with the 4 tracks provided, just like the first game, a bunch of P-switch missions will appear all over those 4 tracks that you've completed. Before you can unlock the next cup and the next 4 tracks, you have to complete more P-switch missions after completing that specific cup. And these P-switch missions have a lot of variety this time around, and even tie into story quests. You can talk to all the NPCs on the map. Some of them will even have quests for you that are outside of the basic P-switch missions. You might have some NPC characters on the map challenge you to races or time trial on one of the tracks, or have you deliver some food to another location extremely fast before it cools, or some story missions where you have to drive away from something that's chasing you, or chase down some type of character through the map, defeat a lot of enemies with multiple item spawns, or even boss missions. There will be a boss at the end of each cup, which is each set of 4 races once again, and you'll have to defeat the boss in that area before spawning the next cup and the next 4 tracks appear. Now once you finish the special cup and complete Rainbow Road, you'll get to go through the entire map and complete any of the missions that you haven't yet, having tons of post-game value and extra content for you to go back and play. And only once you finish, you'll then get a legend on your map showing you the locations, or at least how many P-switches that you've collected from each region and how many that you're still missing. There'll also be Peach coins returning as well, and they will also have a tracker. But you'll actually get rewarded for playing the story, and not just stickers this time around. You'll actually be able to unlock characters and costumes via these missions, and finding characters in the overworld that you can actually add to your character roster instead of the dreaded Kamek orb spawning them randomly throughout the various different tracks. You'll actually be in control of who you unlock and when you unlock them. And for each P-switch mission that you complete and each Peach coin that you collect, you actually get some real valuable rewards. Like I said, not just stickers, but stickers can be something that you get, but more cosmetic rewards, which leads me to the new customization of Mario Kart World 2. Instead of just slapping one sticker on your cart, there will be a lot of different customizable options that you can actually unlock, like paint colors, car decals, wraps, rims, tires, and yes, all these parts are just cosmetic. None of them will actually change the stats of the kart like Mario Kart 8. They can just help you design whatever kart you want to use in the best possible way that fits your designs. You can unlock new colors and styles that best suit you. You can also recolor your character costumes and alts as well, so once you unlock a character's costume, you can actually choose and change the color palette once you unlock those specific colors by completing P-switch missions in the overworld. So if you want your Racer Mario to be pink and blue, you can do that. After collecting everything there is to collect in the game, you will get a very special bonus character or costume. As far as who that would be, I haven't gotten that far, and that's probably up to Nintendo to choose. So completing challenges is actually worth it this time. You can choose any kart in the game and customize it the way that you want. That way your favorite kart in the game is also custom to you and you only, where no 2 karts online would ever look the same. I mean, it's a possibility of course, but with over thousands of different combinations, it's pretty unlikely. Knockout Tour is back and better than ever, with tons of variety with the tracks this time around. Since there's so many intermissions and now they're super unique thanks to the brand new Rainbow P-switch missions that pop up as you're racing, there's also no cups this time, which means there's tons of random generated paths that you will take, where almost every single Knockout Tour you'll play will be slightly different than the last. You can also now play Super Knockout Tours with up to 50 racers that takes you on an even bigger tour around the entire map. You can even create your own Knockout Tours and paths similarly to how you can with one track to another versus races, but this time you can connect up to 6 total tracks to create your own Knockout Tours to play locally. So this time, with the elimination of the cups, you're not playing on the same groupings of 8 intermission tracks, and you're also not ending on the same 8 3-lap tracks anymore either. Battle mode now has tons of custom maps that are actually built for battle mode. These maps will all take place on many surrounding islands that surround the main island, so now they have an excuse to actually have maps and not just section off and fence off current tracks and use them as battle tracks. And besides Balloon Battle and Coin Runners, you now have all the returning modes from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, such as Shine Thief and Renegade Roundup. There's also one major new battle mode, and that is Balloon Battle Royale. This mode places you on the actual game's map. With 99 players, it will get increasingly smaller over time, like every Battle Royale does, and pretty much the last one standing wins. You'll start off with 3 balloons, you can get more by using mushrooms and boost items, but for the most part, it's your job to stay alive and take out other racers. There will be lots of random events, kind of think of Kirby Air Ride, where there's lots of random things happening in City Trial, like bosses appearing and enemies spawning and tons of wacky things happening, like volcanoes erupting, that can also cause you to lose your balloon. And lots of the mechanics that you'll find in the other races in the free roam will be here as well, such as the semis and giant speedboats and even tanks that you can get in order to gain an advantage, and other things that you can interact with on the map besides the normal items that are already in the game. With this massive mode, it'll actually utilize the map that's currently in the game to its fullest potential and keep people replaying battle mode more and more often. As someone who never really plays battle mode, this is something that I desperately think Nintendo needs. The online in Mario Kart World 2 will be completely revamped. There are now 4 total modes, with the normal versus races where you race from one track to another, knockout tour, battle mode, and a brand new classic mode where you can race on nothing but 3-lap tracks and only 12 racers. This will bring you back to the classic feel of Mario Kart while keeping it new and fresh with the new mechanics. Online will have a ranked playlist very similar to the Splatoon series, so you can compete against other top-notch racers to see how good you are and where you rank exactly in the world. This will be a live leaderboard showing you exactly where you rank, giving you a numbered digit instead of just a total online number, so now you can actually see how you fare against others around the world. Tournaments return, and this time they're hosted by Nintendo as well. Nintendo will have giant tournaments once a month on the weekend, very similar to Splatfest. These can be big celebratory racing events where they decorate the map and maybe you can jump onto the map in a free roam area with lots of other racers and mess around, play around before matches again. And for the tournament, Friday through Sunday, Nintendo could give you a certain amount of races you're allowed to race in, and then once you complete your amount of races, points will be added up and it'll show you your overall score. Or maybe very similar to Splatfest, there'll be 2 teams and you can choose which team you want to race for and see if you can compete and help your team out. And there could be separate tournaments for each of the 4 modes as well, including battle. Of course, battle mode will have its BR option to play against 99 other racers, and online can have lobby finders, very similar to how Discord works currently and how the official Mario Kart World Discord works, where you can actually find specific lobbies that fit the rules that you like to play. Each lobby can have a specified rule set before you even jump in, and you can look on the dashboard of all the different options to join. Maybe some are competitive or casual or specific items or a specific speed or a specific type of track only. You can join these lobbies at any time instead of joining random ones online, so that way you can play Mario Kart the way you want to play online. And a feature that should have been in the game a long time ago is parties, where you can party up with your friends to all jump in a random online match or lobby together, instead of just waiting for a random spot to open up when your friend's online. That way you can group your friends up and all jump in onto the races. But there will be a ton of other quality of life updates and features added to this game as well. For instance, the blue shells will be less common, so that way being in first place isn't as punishing and you'll actually want to compete to be in that spot instead of hanging behind and bagging the entire time. There will be a jukebox feature that allows you to choose what music plays and when, and even create your own playlist that play. And most of the music this time around will be all completely new soundtracks. There will be a milestone or a challenge wall very similar to Smash Ultimate and Kid Icarus Uprising from Sakurai that allows you to try your hand at some really difficult challenges or milestones for the game that you can complete as you play through. This will help to keep people constantly returning and coming back to the game even years later. This time, intermissions will be tracked and added to your list with a little picture beside it notifying which intermissions that you've completed, so that way you can remember or even mark down your favorites on the game's list of which intermissions you loved and maybe which ones you weren't so happy with, so that way you'll know which ones to pick and which ones you like to enjoy when it comes down to choosing. After unlocking new parts and colorways, all customizations can be done in the brand new garage feature where you can zoom in and out and decorate your car in high detail. Think of Mario Kart DS's kart customization but to a whole new level. This game will support a whopping 6-player local multiplayer, giving you 2 rows of 3 boxes for everybody to play on. There will also be proper time trial leaderboards that show you exactly your ranking and where you fare against the competition. Think very similar to Super Mario Odyssey's leaderboards, where you can actually get a numbered placement so you can see exactly where you fall. Outside of the guiding antenna, a speed handicap will also be added for younger and inexperienced players that maybe can increase their speed greatly, and you can actually determine how much faster they're allowed to go, so that way a race is interesting no matter who's playing on the controllers. The character select screen will have an option to lay out every single character and costume separately, just like Mario Kart World 1, or the option to put them into drop tabs for each character, so that way you can sort them by just straight up putting the costumes underneath each character in their own individual tab, so that way your character select screen isn't overcrowded. And you can also now spend your coins at an online shop that rotates in new NPC characters, costumes, carts, and customizable items every week. Very similar to Splatoon and the Spirit Shop in Smash Ultimate. Every single week there's something new for you to look for and enjoy and spend your coins on, so continue playing, winning, and earning coins in order to spend them on goodies. Another feature I wanted to add from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom is the locations that you've been. It tracks your route with a line showing you where you've driven for the last 50 hours or so that way you can kind of track where you've been and help you find those P-Switch and Peach coins a lot easier. And finally, there will be waves and seasons of updates for free characters and costumes and even tracks added eventually. Tracks could be added DLC that must be paid for, but the tracks will be added on its own special DLC island that gets filled out over time. Maybe over the course of 2 years, a second island will form, allowing you to do P-Switch missions, even its own little story missions, race on those cups and new tracks, and a lot more. Essentially keeping the game alive for years to come and doubling the game's original content. And that is what a Mario Kart World 2 could be in the future. But let me know in the comments down below what you thought about this. Mario Kart World is such a great game, and it has such an amazing foundation, but some of the decisions that Nintendo made for the game are extremely questionable, so that's why I feel like Mario Kart World 2 could be the actual perfect Mario Kart game that Mario Kart World 1 set out to be. But definitely let me know in the comments down below, are my dreams too ambitious, or do you like the things that I added to the next game? Let me know what you would add to the next Mario Kart. Would you go Mario Kart World 2, or would you just straight up go Mario Kart 9 and bring it back to basics? Definitely comment and let me know down below. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe before you head out if you enjoyed today's video. It helps out more than you think, and I hope you all have a blessed day, and I'll see you all on the next one. See ya, guys.